Welcome to the Moving Pictures Studio, Morgan Spurlock. It's
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to have you in here.
It's great to be here.
I saw the movie, loved it. It's hilarious. At what point did you know that this was? Did it go the way you expected? Did you think it was going to be like this really funny movie, as funny as it was?
Well, I think once we started shooting it, we found it was going to be it was funnier than we anticipated. That we didn't know that the meetings with these companies, we went in and started pitching to corporations or people were going to be so brutally raw and honest and entertaining. But once we started shooting those, we're like, wow, this is going to be pretty great.
Did any of those guys see any of the footage before?
No, that was the best part about the film, which was amazing. Were all the companies that came on, none of them saw the film until the premiere yesterday. So the fact that they gave us free reign to do it was amazing.
They must have been holding their breaths. I think.
All of them, all of them were so nervous. Like I was talking to them beforehand, and I was like, hey, thanks for coming. They're like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
And afterwards?
Afterwards, they were ecstatic. I think that we do poke a stick, a lot in the film, but at the same time, I think the fact that they were brave enough and had the balls to come in and be a part of this film was awesome.
What was the most surprising thing that you found happened during the course of filming?
I mean, for me, I think the most surprising thing was once we started going out and getting brands. There were a couple things. One, when we started getting brands on board, once we got one, how much easier it became to get more. And what you realize is in business, nobody ever wants to be first and nobody ever wants to be last. Yeah. So, that once we got one, which was Band Deodorant was the first sponsors. They are fantastically placed where they should be. Once they came on, it was incredible. Then we got Palm, then we got JetBlue, and it was just like a domino effect.
Right.
That was the real fun, interesting part of what got the movie actually paid for and made. And then what was even more, I think, frightening and kind of weird, for me, is we started going out and trying to buy naming rights in schools. Where now all of these corporations are starting to make their way into the education system because the education system is losing money. Who has money? Companies.
In terms of your product, I mean, obviously after Super Size Me, you had a certain reputation and went down a certain path, and a lot of notoriety that came with that film, and then you used it to also present and acquire or help out other films.
Absolutely.
As Morgan Spurlock Presents. How important is that still as a part of your brand as who you are?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that once Super Size Me hit and we did our TV show 30 Days, and my video partner who put out 30 Days, or put out Super Size Me, and then he put out our box set for 30 Days and all these things, we said there's a real opportunity to help filmmakers. We're in a unique place to help them get their movies, seen by as many people as possible. In the last 4 years, we've distributed 9 movies, whether they've gone theatrically or to television or straight to DVD. And, for me, if I'm given some ability or opportunity to help somebody get their movie seen, then I feel like that I should do everything I can to help people do that. I think when you're given an opportunity like I've been given as a filmmaker, you should share that with as many people as possible.
What was that like, the moment that you got that call? Where were you when you found out you were nominated for an Oscar for Super Size Me?
I was at my house. I was at my house in the East Village, and so because they do the announcements in the morning. So we woke up at 8:30, which is 5:30 on the West Coast, to watch them reading the announcement, of which they don't announce the documentaries. As the actors are up there reading the thing. So as soon as they're done, you're online. You're on the computer on the Oscar website, refresh, waiting for it to come up. And so then when it came up, it was ecstatic. My mind exploded. I was so happy. I called everybody that worked on the film and told them to meet us. There's a restaurant in Soho called Balthazar, which is this fantastic restaurant, French restaurant. Yeah. And so we all met there at 9 in the morning. And literally, I had all 3 meals that day at Balthazar. We literally took over the whole front of the restaurant. We drank 60 bottles of champagne that day. It was the most epic day of celebrating. All day long, we just held court. People came in and out. And finally, around 11 o'clock that night, I was like, I really need to go home.
For a couple of reasons. One is because it was probably the budget of the film.
Exactly. At that point, we had spent so much money that it was that we had to leave. Yeah. And the other that I had drank more champagne in that one day than I think I ever did in my life.